Engaging in positive actions can frequently create a ripple effect. When this woman rescued a frail dog from the roadside, little did she anticipate the astonishing chain of events that would follow. Join us as we delve into this remarkable tale. Once confined to a daily office grind, Amelia's dissatisfaction with her monotonous routine fueled a search for alternative employment options that offered greater flexibility. Striving for the freedom to shape her own schedule, she embarked on a journey to transition into a real estate agent role. This decision allowed her to break free from the confines of an office, granting her the autonomy to determine work hours tailored to property showings and client consultations. The prospect of being on the move, actively engaged in driving and exploration, brought her immense excitement, a stark departure from her prior experience. Embracing this invigorating change, Amelia found herself spending extended hours behind the wheel, navigating between diverse locations. While vastly different from her past routine, the novelty of this new lifestyle brought her joy, permitting her to savor quick coffee breaks and leisurely lunches with friends. However, within this seemingly perfect setup, a disheartening incident awaited Amelia that would shatter her faith in humanity. Following a morning dedicated to guiding prospective clients through various properties, they ultimately settled on a favored option. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of a surprising and impactful turn in Amelia's journey. They put in an offer, and everything went perfectly. Amelia was super pumped. It was an awesome moment that showed her that her choices were paying off. She was driving down one of the bigger roads in town, but her mind was all over the place. She was focusing completely when suddenly something strange caught her eye. A big yellow dog ran into the road, and a large SUV going in the opposite direction hit him. Amelia was shocked. It didn't look like the other car even tried to hit the brakes. They just kept going. She turned around as quickly as she could do it safely and went back to where she saw the dog getting run over. She pulled to the side of the road, and the poor dog was just lying there in the road. The car that hit him was long gone. He was bleeding badly and whimpering softly. There were no homes around where he could belong, so Amelia didn't know where he came from, but she knew that he was dying and that she had to help him. Thankfully, the road wasn't too busy, and everyone just went past the woman and the dog on the other side. She still had to figure out what to do. It looked like the dog was a Labrador, and he was big. She wasn't going to just pick him up and put him in the car on her own. She had a towel in her car because she was going for a swim at her gym later, but she didn't want to drag him on the towel either. He was already injured, and she could hurt him even more. Luckily, another kind person decided to stop. The man got out, and when she explained the problem, he helped her carry the pup to her car's back seat. His soft cries were heartbreaking, but Amelia was grateful when she heard them. At least it meant that he was still alive. They placed him in the car on top of the towel. Amelia spoke to him softly, and when she rubbed his face, he licked her hand. This sweet gesture brought tears to her eyes. It showed what a sweet pup he was. He had to be in tremendous pain, but he was still grateful for the help. After thanking the man who helped them, Amelia quickly drove to the nearest vet. They helped her get the dog out, and then the waiting began. He had a broken leg and some internal injuries, but Amelia was not going to let him go. At that point, she decided to dip into her savings to pay for his vet bills. They checked, but the dog didn't have a microchip. While he was still in the vet's care for a few days, Amelia posted flyers and messages on social media groups with his picture, but his family never came forward. They found that he was still a young dog, only about a year old. He was a Labrador mix that hadn't been neutered yet. They changed that too, but after a few weeks of no one claiming him, it was clear that he didn't have a family to go back to. When it was time to release the dog from the hospital, it was also time for Amelia to make a choice. She could allow him to go to a shelter, or she could take him in herself. She had visited him every day and had even started to call him Duke. There wasn't really a choice at all. She had already started to love this dog, and she knew he would need more care at home. The thought of him lying in an enclosure at a shelter made her a little bit sick. Duke was going home with her. He was her dog now. Amelia had wanted a dog for a while, but she wasn't home enough when she worked in the office. Now it was the perfect time, and this was the perfect dog. Before she took Duke home, she went to get him a big dog bed and she put the bed in front of her bed with a cozy blanket. He still had wounds that needed to be cleaned, but it seemed like Duke trusted her completely. He allowed her to care for him, and he followed her wherever she went. When she made food in the kitchen, he lay there watching her. When she was watching television, he lay by her feet, and then when she went to bed, he lay down on the dog bed watching her, at least for the first part of the night. In the middle of the night, Amelia felt him getting up on her bed. He was moving softly and carefully. Switching on her bedside lamp, she found herself captured by his tender brown eyes, rendering resistance futile. Thereafter, he became a nightly companion, nestled beside her on the bed. In the past, covering his vet bills had strained her savings, but as her affection for Duke grew, she found his worth immeasurable. He painted her days with companionship, a constant presence at her side. His unwavering devotion mirrored her own, creating a bond that exceeded her wildest expectations. Together, they embarked on lengthy walks, Duke accompanying her wherever she ventured. Opening her car's passenger door ignited his excitement, ushering in their shared adventures, often culminating in a cherished puppuccino break. In his company, fellow dogs and people were met with his affable disposition, as long as Amelia was his anchor. His resilience was striking. No situation or trigger could unnerve him. Despite a tumultuous past, emotional scars were few, thanks to Amelia's nurturing love. Amelia's devotion proved transformative, nurturing Duke into a contented and well-adjusted companion. Their unity blossomed into a unique partnership, a truly special connection. Little did she know, when she rescued Duke from the brink of death, she was also rescuing her future closest friend. Their bond was unique, but the upcoming turn of events took Duke's actions beyond her expectations. One evening, after hosting dinner for friends, Amelia settled down in front of the TV to unwind. Curiously, Duke, her companion, appeared restless, pacing before her in a bid for attention. Despite battling a throbbing headache, Amelia urged him to settle down. Exhaustion crept over her as she dozed off, yet Duke's persistent pawing refused to let her be. Even as dizziness and nausea overcame her, she yearned for sleep, but Duke remained resolute in his actions. Through barks, moans, and a slightly harder nip, Duke's determination startled Amelia. Rallying herself, she rose, propelled by his urgency. Walking unsteadily, with Duke tugging at her pants, she reached the door. Swinging it open, a rush of fresh air greeted her senses. Within moments, an unsettling realization took hold. Duke's instincts had detected danger. The gas stove malfunction had turned her apartment into a hazardous space filled with gas. The dog she once rescued had now rescued her in return, solidifying a connection that transcended time. Their destinies had intertwined indelibly, a testament to the profound bond they shared.